I asked people in my poll about whether they wanted to see a video on the Union flag of the United Kingdom. A lot of people said that they wouldn't and that they thought it would be a really boring topic which has been absolutely done to death. But I reckon I can come up with at least 2 to 3 facts on each of the flags that you wouldn't have heard of before. This is after all History with Hilbert, and I'm confident I can make this somewhat boring topic a bit more interesting. So today we're going to look at the unofficial, I might add, flag of Northern Ireland, and this is indeed the flag that most people think of when they think of Northern Ireland, which is obviously the northern part of the island of Ireland, which belongs to the United Kingdom, at least for the moment. Oh, what a controversial thing to say. So this flag, if we break it down, obviously the largest part of the flag is the red hand in the middle with the insignia. Then of course we have the red cross in the background, and the background is of course a white background. So this is very similar to the provincial flag of the province of Ulster, and actually while I'm here, a big misconception is that Northern Ireland is Ulster. It's not actually, because Donegal, which is the most northerly part of the island, belongs to Ireland, and that traditionally was part of Ulster as well, whereas the part which is Northern Ireland is just most of Ulster. But of course a lot of the unofficial Northern Irish flag gets its roots from this flag, which is the provincial flag of Ulster. So let's have a look at the red hand, which is obviously a very important part of both the provincial flag of Ulster and the unofficial flag of Northern Ireland. And this is a very old, it's thought to be probably pagan, symbol of the Celtic peoples living in Ireland, possibly something to do with sacrifice or blood, and it was a very important symbol for the peoples, especially in the north, for example, so especially for the people called the Cruthin, who are possibly related to the Picts, but that's a topic for another video. So one theory about where this came from is that they were actually defeated in battle by another clan in Ireland, another kingdom, and that they grabbed one of the banners and he put his blood-stained hand onto the banner, and thus that's where the red hand came from, which is one of the stories. That's my favourite story. There are about 10 different stories. Some of them are even as far-fetched as saying that the Phoenicians brought it over and other things like that. But yeah, you can look into that for yourselves if you're interested, otherwise I'd be here all day. So it's first used in a flag context. It's used in seals, for example, by various Ui Neill kings in the north of Ireland. But it's first used by a Hiberno-Norman, which means obviously the Normans came to England in 1066, and in the 12th century, along with Strongbow, they came over to Ireland as well. And then you had obviously Norman lords, and you also had Gaelic lords or Gaelic lords for Ireland, and then they had a mixed class as well, and this was one of them, and this was the De Burgh family, who were in the north of Ireland, and they mixed their flag, which was a red cross on a golden background, with the flag of, or the symbol of, the Red Hand of Ulster, and that's where you get the provincial flag of Ulster from, of course. And later on, actually, when the O'Neill family in the north of Ireland were fighting against the English, who were expanding at that time during the 9 Years' War, which was from 1594 to 1603, the end of Elizabeth's reign, one of the mottos that was shouted, one of the war cries of the Irish side, was the Red Hand of Ireland forever. And actually, when the Plantation of Ulster happened during the 17th and I think also the 18th centuries, which was where the English and Scottish governments moved Protestants from England and Scotland over to Northern Ireland, to Ulster, which actually not many people know Ulster was the most quote-unquote Gaelic area of Ireland that caused the most resistance to the early English expansion there. So what they essentially did was replace the Gaelic or Catholic population with Protestants from England and Scotland. And the movement who did this, the Irish Society, one of their symbols, they adopted the Red Hand of Ulster because they were moving in there. And then you see on various flags the symbolism of both this red hand, which went from being a very Gaelic symbol, a very Celtic quote-unquote symbol, to being more of a loyalist symbol during this period. However, it was used by the Republicans during the various periods of troubles and the wars beforehand. So for example, in 1916, the precursor to the Irish Republicans Army, the IRA, was the Irish, I think it was the Irish Citizens Army or the Irish Republican Citizens, something along those lines. They used the Red Hand of Ulster as a little badge which they used on their caps to identify as. But on the other hand, during the Troubles, both sides, both the Loyalists and the Republicans, used the Red Hand. And here, example, you have it on the Ulster Defence Association, the Ulster Volunteer Force, and the UDF, the Ulster Defence Force. They also used red hands, and you see them quite a lot of the time in the graffiti of the Troubles, spray painted on alongside various slogans and things like that. And actually today the Red Hand of Ulster is one of the only symbols in Northern Ireland that is used and can be used to represent both the Irish, the Republican leaning people in the community, as well as the Loyalist, more British leaning part of the community, which is very interesting. And that's why the transport in Northern Ireland, they use the Red Hand, as well as I believe the hockey union, they use the Red Hand of Ulster, because it's one of the only ones where people won't say, oh, you're having a bias towards this group or that group, because both groups have used it in the past. And of course this is the de facto or the unofficial Northern Irish flag. It was actually the official flag up until I believe it's 1953, when it was it was used from 1953 up until 1972, which is when, slap bang in the middle of the Troubles, when the Stormont Parliament lost its authority, and the authority went straight to the United Kingdom to sort out the troubles that were happening in Ireland at the time. And after that it was never reinstated, although this is the flag that's used at sports events. And obviously the background of the flag is from St. George's Cross, which is the flag of England. And somehow some people have suggested that they change this to make it more inclusive for the Republican or the Irish-leaning people in Northern Ireland. So I came up with a few designs just to end on. I thought here with the orange and the green of the Irish flag, or perhaps they could go with a completely new design and have, instead of an English and then the Red Hand, an Irish and then the Red Hand, or a combination of the two. And I personally think this flag wasn't bad. I designed it myself, so rate it out of 10 in the comments below. And of course then it is included in the British flag, but it was included at a time when Ireland as a whole was still part of the United Kingdom, which is why St. Patrick's saltire is in there. Link will be in the description below to a video on the Republic of Ireland's flag, and in that video I will also explain how that is also in the Union flag with St. Patrick's saltire. So be sure to check that one out if you haven't already. I'm not actually sure if I will have uploaded that at this point, because I'm recording this video probably a few months before it'll be uploaded. So hello future subscribers, how's it going? So thanks very much for watching. This has been another pretty all over the place, but I think you still enjoyed it. I hope you did. History with Hilbert video about the Northern Irish flag, a little bit of the Irish history, and then obviously Northern Irish history later on with some flag information and some of my own flag designs at the end. So I really do hope that you have enjoyed this video on the unofficial, I should remember to say, flag of Northern Ireland. And yeah, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. If you think you know someone else who might enjoy this, don't forget to share it with them. I'd very much appreciate that. And I will hopefully see you all again soon. And if you haven't seen any of the other videos in this series about the flags of, I'm not sure if I'm going to call it the United Kingdom or of the British Isles, because I'll put Ireland's flag in there as well, then be sure to check those out too, as well as my other videos if you are interested. So thanks everyone, and I'll see you soon.